I
Yeah,
talked to my supervisor. So I think with the whole CCA thing, that was my fault. I felt that we were still wanting to do that, but she was just like, "There's nothing like we can do about it." I think for me, my main concern
Carrie,
was
turn that off.
my. Can you?
I'm telling Carrie to turn that off so I can hear you.
I know you're fine. I think my main concern is I'm just trying to make sure that like you guys are okay. Um, I don't really know like what you guys need from me.
Uh,
I'm just trying to
I,
be really
I
helpful
I
and
know. So I just wanted to say some things. But so you did acknowledge that the police did tell you that that the call they were referencing was made during a non-emergency 911 call.
um the call that they were referenced. I think you had called Elon Police, and then I think it was like you said that it wasn't
Well, I call
an emergency. I know you called
I
Elon
I
one
ca-
of those days.
I called on a non-emergency line. That's the distinction that
Okay.
needs to be made. That is you. They did tell you that. You remember you telling me this.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, so this
I
is
don't know. I'm sorry. My days are kind of just like my days are running together, so I'm trying to keep up.
I understand.
I did know that. I did know with the one call, like you. I know that you did call the non-emergency number, yes, but there was also one where you called Elon Police directly, but that one was 911 because it was like
Yeah,
911,
I,
and then
I think this one.
I think that was the one where your neighbors were. I want to say it was the one you were dealing with your neighbors. I can't remember exactly the situation, but I know you told them like they were kind of bothering you or something like that. But you didn't say it wasn't an
I just
emergency.
want to make sure that this because there was. I just want to make sure that this is distinguished because
Yes.
that I didn't abuse 911 services by saying it's not an emergency. By definition, I'm letting them know it's like, hey, this isn't an
Okay.
emergency. I'm calling for this because who am I going to call? Because I've been banned from the town. No one's answering my phone calls, and so I have
Right.
no other choice. Now, I just want you did so you still believe that we're great parents, right?
Yes, yes. That's another thing that I had called to talk about. So we're gonna have to start doing supervision notes with my supervisor
Okay.
sometime soon. With the CCA, and I explained that to her. It was just like, well, the children aren't in any type of danger or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
My main concern was after the arrest the other day, it kind of, I'm not gonna lie to you, it kind of like made me really nervous.
Mm.
Because I don't want it to be, I don't want it to be somewhere where it's like that is held against you, right? And then it, like, I was scared that it might make the case be open longer than it
Mm.
needs to be. But when I talked to my supervisor, she was just like, well, that had nothing to do with the children because, yeah, you were arrested, but the children still had somebody there to take care of them. And, like, they weren't,
I
left by themselves. Um,
also
so
I also
that kind
want
of put me at ease. I just,
I
like I
want
said,
to
I just didn't want it to be something where
I also want to
I,
make
I
it. I want to make a statement as well.
uh
So the SBI has ignored us, and I've called numerous times.
okay.
And they issued this. Secondly,
Uh-huh.
so the
So
biggest
it wasn't, wait, just really quick, it wasn't the Gibsonville, it was the SBI you said?
yeah, and so
Do you
I've
have their direct number? Because I can reach out to
no,
them.
I don't have the
You don't
number.
have any?
So I
Okay.
filed complaints to the SBI. So basically,
Okay.
the point that I want to make is for 2 years I've been filing complaints with them, and they've ignored me. But the only time they reach
Yes.
out is to charge me with something, and
Yes.
it has to do with Gibsonville. Gibsonville wouldn't do it because they know the charges would. They knew it was baseless, and they knew it would be retaliatory. So
Yes.
moving on from that, Gibsonville never charged Jeff Reese for harassment, even though they've
Uh-huh.
documented that he has harassed us. I just want to make that. I just want to make that like viewpoint. Like there's all this acknowledgement from them that he's been harassing us. Him and his family's been harassing us. Yet he's never been criminally charged. The only
Okay.
charge, and it's not even criminal, it's civil, was that he was trespassed. And so
Okay.
you have to ask yourself, well, if they have all this documentation about him harassing, why has he not been criminally charged? And so the officer told us that he was criminally charged, and then when we look up, we see that he wasn't charged. So then you have to look at the disparity. So and I just want to make sure one more thing. So my videos that I'm posting, I'm trying to get help. Like the issue is the neighbors and the false arrest from August the 7th,
Now, really
2020.
quick, because I know you sent that last video. Have the neighbors been back? Do you have any more
No,
videos of them
no.
driving past your house?
It's not even driving past my house. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I'm a reasonable person. It's
Well, they
intention.
were making noise. That's
Right.
What I mean.
It's
they
in.
were making, yeah.
It's
They
in.
were
Yeah.
revving their engines and stuff.
Well, even that, like it's the mechanical noise of the quads after they did this for like 9 months. So they haven't done it. You know, as far as in been obnoxious. But so I haven't had any reason to call. It's when they do obnoxious. It's when they do obnoxious things. Like, again, I'm very reasonable. Never had any issues with Jeff until he lied.
Right.
It was
Right.
only after he lied that I had issues with him. And so again, he needs to be charged. Like,
And is Jeff still? Jeff is not still your neighbor, right?
yeah,
Or-
Jeff still is my neighbor, but he needs to be criminally charged. He did.
Okay.
And so this is what I need from you. Whatever you need to ask why he's not been criminally charged, because we have document. So here's the thing: I have a misuse of 911 call. You know, I gotta show up for court for. But yet CPS is here, which would undermine that claim, because if I was abusing CPS, then there would be no then you wouldn't be here. Your whole presence would destroy that whole argument. And the fact of the matter is that there's been documented harassment.
Okay.
And so he needs to be.
And so you need me to reach out to the police department for you?
They need to I need to understand. I need to understand how he's engaged in criminal behavior, and yet he's not been charged. That's what I need to understand.
Okay.
Anything?
I can do that for you as soon as we get off the phone. You know, I don't have no issue with it.
Yeah.
Like I said, my main concern is how you guys are doing, because like I said, since I've been involved with you guys, I know there's even Carrie's parents have said, like, your relationship has gotten a lot better. You guys are communicating a lot better.
I just want to pause you for a second.
Okay.
This is so okay, and I'm doing this on purpose because I don't want. So CPS didn't have anything to do with us, or I'm just going to be straight out. They didn't have anything to do with our relationship. The harassment stopping by Jeff is the reason why we've gotten better. This is how we always behave. You know, it's when Jeff.
Last time you told me that the communication resources I gave you guys didn't work at all.
I didn't even read the. I haven't even read any of the stuff you sent me, and that's. Carrie read it. I didn't read anything. So what I'm saying is, it's like I've been working so much, like it's and it's like I know, like, technically you guys got to close it anyways, the case, because it's been open for 180 days. So you would have to justify keeping it open, and so like I'm just like I respect you comment or whatever, but CPS hasn't really like done anything. The main issue that I've been saying since that was called out, that I've told from 3 different people, was the harassment by the neighbors, which they stopped on their own, but then they started back up, and then the harassment, and then the police stuff. Like that's been a footnote and not the main issue. That is the main issue. It's me and my wives. The way we communicate has never been an issue. I just want to make that clear. We've never had issues. We only had issues after I was falsely arrested. I just want to make that distinguished. See, so again, like, I respect you, but I'm just going to keep it real. CPS hasn't really done anything to benefit us in any way. Like, calling us, like, I'm not an angry person. Like, I'm irritated at the neighbors, you know, but in general, I'm not an angry person, and that's the real issue. Trying to give me paperwork to deal with like Jeff, which Jeff, all you gotta do is, hey, he's harassing. Why hasn't he been charged? It's something that is avoidable. And so my family shouldn't have to deal with the neighbors harassing us or any of this stuff, and we shouldn't. And I'm not going to sit here and say that we should be coached on how to deal with that, because we shouldn't have to deal with that in the first place. But you go ahead, sir.
That wasn't. You're right.
Sorry, I know. Like I'm trying to be honest and respectful. And again, you told me to trust you, and then like you spoke with my wife behind my back, and I don't mean behind my back as far as in like you're hiding anything, but simply implying that a judge might push therapy. A judge wouldn't do that without CPS giving them a reason to, and you acknowledge that we're great parents and that we're not a safety. So I don't know why you would tell her that why she's alone. That myself would make me not trust you.
Well, we've had conversations, and I explained this to you before, is we meet with both parties by themselves. Like, that's something that we have to do.
I know.
It wasn't me trying to assume anything. Like I said, I'm new to this case. All I'm doing is going off of what was said. The case, yes, you were dealing with the police, but then it was saying that sometimes when you guys would have disagreements, things would be thrown. You acknowledged that you did punch the TV.
At the beginning,
exactly, but that was also something, when I interviewed your girls, that was also something that they said that wasn't happening anymore, and that you guys were, which was in the packet which was in the resources that I gave you, which talked about
he avoided answering the question.
Communicating when you get upset, just like taking a cool off period. So I personally feel like in a way that I kind of...
I just want to interject for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were called out for me punching the TV. It was an isolated incident. It's not something that I normally do. And again, this only was because we were assaulted by the police. The neighbors were harassing us, and no one was doing anything. And even today, the focus is on me. Even your very argument is about me.
That's because I'm CPS. Like, what the police have done, which all I can do
it does matter.
Like, I can't do, but I'm not saying it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, I don't work with the police.
But
everything outside.
Let me just stop you.
With the police. My thing is,
the officer
of the assessment. The officer came in, and then the case was passed to us, and then that's when I initiated the home team.
So the officer traumatized her. Let me just make this distinction clear. The officer traumatized our child, not me, not my wife, not anything that I did. The officer traumatized our daughter, and then the neighbors harassing us traumatized them. It wasn't me.
You're supposed to protect kids.
You're supposed to protect children.
It was just from parents.
It wasn't me traumatizing. We were responding after we had been neglected by services, and even now. And again, like even though like I'm a tiny bit agitated on a 1 to 10, I'm probably like less than a 1. So it takes a lot to get me angry because I'm very restrained. But again, the issue has never been about me and my wife's parenting. The issue was always about the neighbors and the police. Yet and so here's what I can tell you. It's about 180 days or so. So you guys got to close the case anyways. And so pushing therapy would be trying to legitimize the services.
Pushing therapy because you stated, and I have the case agreement that you and Ms. Provis originally did with Amanda.
Yes.
You even said to me that you before,
yes.
Which even in our previous conversations, you said to me before that prior to CPS coming in, that you had already wanted to seek therapy.
Yes,
because
but
you went through a lot as a child.
Yes, but it shouldn't be used. But you're using it.
Well, I can help you with therapy if you.
But you're using it to justify keeping the case open instead of focusing on the.
But I'm not trying to keep the case open. That's literally what I've been trying to.
So when will it be closed?
I'm explaining it to you I have supervision with my supervisor.
Right.
I have to explain to her that everything has gotten better, because even when I spoke to Carrie's parents, she said, you guys are doing better now, but that there were some instances before where a lot was going on outside of dealing with the police.
And the harassment, which caused it.
With the police, which my thing is, in the case agreement, which I'm pretty sure you have a copy of, this is what you came up with Amanda.
I read it. You still...
One of the behaviors and behaviors, it says describe behaviors that are of concern. It said mother and father have verbal arguments that led to household items being broken and thrown, which you...
Yes, because of the harassment. Because of the harassment.
So you still acknowledge that they were broken and thrown. Furthermore, it says that sometimes with the PTSD, and that's what you said, you had PTSD for being in foster care as a child, and as a child, and the things that you went through as a child. When it said in the case plan that that's what you were going through, I assume, well, maybe if I could help him find therapy, what you said you wanted to do before, it had nothing to do with you and the kids. It had nothing to do with the case. This was me specifically trying to say, well, if Mr. Turner already acknowledges that he has PTSD, which is something that he's dealing with, and you said yourself that you wanted to go to therapy, but you didn't have insurance.
I don't...
What I said was, okay, well, maybe I can help out with that.
All right, so I just want to make sure. So again, as I've mentioned, I don't want to go to therapy with CPS.
Okay, but we're not pushing therapy anymore.
But you were. So my next question is, when is the case going to be closed? Because I literally could have been working, but I've been waiting to see. Yeah, go ahead.
And the issue with our daughter and when you guys come is, what I've realized is, so every time we say, it's okay, everything's okay, she knows that it should have been okay a long time ago, like with the officer. And so telling her that isn't doing anything when she's witnessed people not do their job correctly before.
So are you saying that I'm not doing my job properly?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, she has seen an officer not do his job the right way, and so when you guys come to our house,
we're still conflating the PD with Alamance County DSS. So I have no bearing of what they do.
So what we're trying to say is, as we've been saying, the issue is not us. The issue was caused by that, and again, like, when people come in, she gets nervous. So I just want to say this and then ask one question. That's it. So first thing, I just want to make sure we're very, very clear on this. The issues that my daughters are facing don't stem from me and my wife arguing. They stem from the police, the false arrest, and the harassment. And that's never been the focal point. It's been focused on me. Had everyone focused on the actual issue instead of conflating it, then they wouldn't have issues. You guys being out here focusing on me, I reacted based off of the way I was treated. And again, I'm not justifying it, but what I want to make clear is that you're telling me
your daughter still saw you the way you reacted.
Let me just finish. So you guys are giving us coping mechanisms to deal with the symptoms of dealing with the harassment that you guys have really not really fixed. That's the main issue, and you keep focusing on my symptoms. Like, I reacted
because that's the job of DSS.
No, the job of DSS is to protect the children from all sources, not just parents. And so again.
So how do you expect me to help protect them from the police if I have no jurisdiction over the police?
So what I can tell you is, you can document what we've told you, but you guys are selectively documenting.
The officer has gone and dealt with other children.
The same officer that assaulted me is dealing, and it's like, so this is also what bothers me, is that I've specifically told you, Cameron, specifically about the neighbors harassing me, the minors doing it, and what has happened. And that same kid that was his parents were never CPS never found any wrongdoing. You guys have told us that we're one of the best parents you've dealt with, and yet CPS is CPS is dealing with us. Yet the very people engaged in the harassment, CPS has not investigated that, and then
because we haven't received a report to investigate.
My wife put my
without.
My wife.
Cannot randomly investigate somebody without an
we have
an assessment coming to CPS.
So my wife has filed one. I filed complaints. Hannah filed complaints. So the thing is, again, it's still like you're defending doing this with me, but it's like I'm not the issue. Me and my wife, we thought we needed to.
I'm defending dealing with this because the case that they opened up with you guys came to me. The case that had nothing to do with me being involved with you guys.
All right, so we're not.
I'm in home services. What happens is the assessors come out. They decide, hey, X, Y, and Z is happening. This is of concern. The parents will benefit from in-home services, which I have been trying my best to provide to you guys.
All right, that's fine. So my question is, when will the case be closed? That's the main issue. And again, all respect, I'm not. It's not a big deal. I just want to know, when is the official date of the case being closed?
I don't have a specific date because, like I said, I have to do supervision with my supervisor first. But the main thing is, I'm just trying to do my job.
I understand.
And making sure that you guys are doing okay. I mean, like, yes, there are no concerns, but I just can't document and say, oh, well, I didn't give them any resources. I didn't do anything to make sure that everything was okay. I'm just doing what I can. I mean, I've only been in this field for 4 months.
So here's
this is one of the cases that came to me. So I'm trying to make sure that everybody's okay and that, like, I'm helping out where I can. The problem is that I sometimes feel as though, like, the work that I have been putting in at this point, especially after this conversation, it seems to me like none of it matters.
None of it does matter. You're right. The main reason I say that is because we've been telling you about the issues, the harassment, and again, you're focusing on me. I only had issues after we were neglected. And so at this point, I will say it. CPS is being neglectful. The fact that this case remains open, despite you acknowledging that we aren't the issue, that our parenting skills aren't the issue, that is neglect. Like, you can't justify keeping it open. We've told you our daughters are getting nervous with you guys coming, and you're just looking for a reason to close it. And so, I'm no. So here's what I'm going to tell you, out of respect. So going forward, when you guys come to our house, I'm recording everything, because CPS, I've been patient. The case needs to be closed, but going forward, when you guys come, I'm going to make sure it's recorded for my safety, because the thing is, we've dealt with people telling us stuff behind closed doors and doing things, publicly, and it's like, I just feel like we aren't getting anywhere. Like, we want the case closed, and the services that we want, that we actually need, you guys can't provide. Like, what would help us with our rent, with our mortgage, help us with utilities. Other than that, we don't. If you guys could help us with our utilities, then then that.
So what about the money that you said that you were pulling from the stops and everything that you said was supposed to be coming out? And if you needed help with utilities before, this is the first time you've ever mentioned that to me.
No, it isn't. We've told you this numerous times.
You've never told me that you needed help with utilities. I've asked. Nobody said, "Oh, well, this needs to be paid."
My wife has sent.
You've already had money.
My wife sent messages. I sent messages, and I told you that I got to pay taxes on that. That it was I specifically told you that.
And there was a ban, and so we couldn't get it. You said
that I couldn't have access to my money, and I'm paying heavily when I have to pull out. Is what I specifically.
Yeah, but you said you were pulling it out this month, correct?
I'm pulling out. Yes, but that still doesn't. That doesn't. Yeah, all you're doing is proving the point. Like, yes, I'm pulling it out because I have to, but it's still draining us. Like, I'm having to pay fines on this stuff. The thing is, I shouldn't have to. All this stuff was caused by the government, and the government is still not doing anything. So the government caused all of this stuff by harassing, being neglectful. So I'm just again. So I got to go to work. I actually have to work. So is there anything else you need from me, sir, or from my wife? But we'll
No.
whatever you ask
No.
us to do, we'll do. I would say one more thing. If you can make the visits sooner than 11 o'clock, because I'm
Or
what
later.
or after either before really before 9:30 or after 3, because it's like that's the prime time of my working. And we're trying to do school as well. But I'll follow. If it's court ordered, I'll do it. But I'm not going to be doing.
Nothing's court ordered. All I was saying is because it was in the case plan, which I said before. My supervisor is saying that like I can't push you to do a CCA if like you don't feel like you need one, then I can't really push for that. What I'm pushing for now is that next supervision, I'm going over with my supervisor, and hopefully the case will be closed by then. That way, you can, even after case closure, though, which I've stated before, even when we close the case, I still have to do a checkup at
no
least
problem.
once or twice. I have to just come in, just make sure everything is fine.
Yeah, no
and
problem.
Then we'll be done.
Yeah, that's no problem. And again, I'm not angry at you or anything, but I am
Are
disappointed.
you sure? Because it does feel like you're a little angry at me. I will be honest with you. It does feel like you're a little angry.
If anything, it would be his supervisor.
It's not you. I know you're doing what you have to do,
And
you
that
know,
he's new.
and that you're new. It's like you probably like behind closed doors are like, man, this sucks. What's going on with this family? And I get it. I'm not
because it does suck. Because like I've been saying before, like you guys were one of the first cases that came to me, and I feel like since I've been involved with your family, I just feel like we've made a connection with each other. I mean, I do like coming to see the girls.
Yeah.
Everybody looks happy and healthy, and that's why I keep saying before.
I'm not angry.
If it was up to me, it's nothing that I can say, well, I can see that they're going fine. I have to make diligent efforts and say, even though you feel like you don't need the resources, that's the best that I can do. Even with, like, I know you had issues with your teeth. That was another resource that I tried to give, to at least help you out. I just wanted it to be known because, like, that's where kind of the frustrating part is. And I just want it to be known that I care about what I'm doing. I care about helping your family in any way that I possibly can. It's not that I'm trying to say that, oh, you guys are bad parents or you need CPS. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just more so afraid, even with the police being involved, and even like I mentioned before with this last arrest, I don't want it to continue being something that's impacting your children, that's impacting you, that's keeping you from being able to provide for your family.
The police choosing to break the law and arrest me for things that they shouldn't.
And I'm going to reach out, and I'm reaching out to the police today. As soon as we end this call, I'm going to ask them, hey, my client, Brian, Mr. Turner, and his wife, they have been dealing with harassment from their neighbors. I need to know why they haven't been charged. Like, I am reaching out to you, and that's what that's what I'm trying to explain. Is that I'm trying to help you any way I can.
My wife wants to ask you a question.
If you need me to talk to the police department, that's what I'm going to do. If you need help with utilities, I'm going to make sure I get you the help that you need so I can close this case. Okay. Because I don't want it to close it and then the harassment starts up again. And now we're in the same predicament where the children are being impacted again. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. I do want to say one thing. No, I forgot. Oh, yeah. So I sent an email to the mayor the other night. I didn't get anything back. I don't know if you want to check on that too or anything, but
What was the
Right
email
now, I'm
about?
checking on
The
I'm
writing.
What
checking
was
on the email from the mayor.
Yeah, and it
I'm
was just
checking on the police department. And what else?
what I sent was just asking that the neighbors don't ride at night anymore because
Okay.
they might not always be trying to harass us, but because of the harassment, it affects us.
Also, one more thing.
Okay.
I want to know how. I want you to ask him how banning me from the town is illegal in any sense, because they didn't cite any laws.
It's legal?
I know it's not. I know it's illegal. That's the point. I want you to raise the concern. How is it legal to ban somebody when they haven't broken any laws and they cite it they cite it in the actual ban? That
Can I just make a list of this? Because I need to know that I'm asking.
I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
This phone, I hate this phone. Hang on. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Hello? I hate this stupid phone.
That's okay.
This phone is a piece of trash. Okay, so right now I'm going to first off ask about why Jeffries hasn't been charged with harassment, even though it's been noted that he was harassing.
Literally for since January of this year, it's been going on, and it just stopped. Around August, it just stopped around August, September. It just stopped, and he's not been charged. Nobody, his wife took part, his son took part, and these are all the same people that claim that they were worried about my children. When they lied in court, they all testified they were worried about my court. And so they're saying that they're worried. They're saying that, and that was the only reason why I ended up pleading in the first place. They're saying that they're worried for our kids, yet they're the ones harassing us. His whole family is.
Okay, and I'll make sure I mention this to the police. Like I said, as soon as we get off the phone, I'm going to call them. So we're talking about the harassment. We're talking about what legal means they have to publicly ban you.
Yeah, because I can't take my kids to the park or do anything, and so that's illegal. Banning itself is illegal. Like trespassing is illegal. I've never even heard of somebody being trespassed from government property. The worst they could do, from my understanding, is be criminally charged, and that would only be for that specific day. But I've never heard of. So like, if I had showed up and been disrespectful, then I'd be a nuisance. There'd be a charge with that. But just saying something that they don't like doesn't give them the right to ban me. And so I'm paying taxes, and I can't go into town unless I'm being escorted. And so I had to miss many events. My family and I can't take my family to certain events because I'm banned.
And sometimes it requires non-emergency phone calls because the only person you can call is the police.
And sometimes it requires non-emergency phone calls because the only person you can call is the police, which is true. And so last thing, this is the most important. They criminalized me calling, even though there's be nothing to say that I did misuse any, because if there's a documented record of harassment, then that by itself would not be misuse. I was banned from the town. The town doesn't return my calls, and so the only way that I have to get in contact with anybody is calling the non-emergency line, and they always direct me. So it's kind of you can't block me from communication and then say, well, we're gonna criminally charge you for calling. Like, what choice do I have when they purposely ban me, and so this all impacts my kids because I can't do anything, and then I'm having to pay for all this stuff. But again, I'm not angry at you in any sense. I'm angry at the system. I know you probably don't like this, but we both know that they're forcing you to write something to justify closing this case. But that's what you can do to help us. Okay.
And check on the letter to the mayor about the writing what is it?
The loud equipment. So on the statute, you can ride like a quad if it doesn't impact the neighbors, but you can't ride on the road. So the fact it doesn't say a decibel or whatever, so that leaves it. So in my interpretation, that leaves it to the discretion of the neighbors. And so because of the previous harassment and before the harassment, it was annoying. I prefer not to hear any clanking or whatever, especially at night.
Okay.
They wait until 9:30, 10 o'clock to drive motor carts around, which makes no sense. And it wakes our kids up. It bothers me already because I'm having to hear the hum of the mechanical noise.
Right.
So, but that's all, sir. Anything you want to say, Carrie? She's good. Well, I'm gonna jump off here.
Also, just really quick, you still need help with utilities, correct?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
What needs to be paid?
Water and electric.
Water and electric. And if you could help a little bit with our mortgage, because I mean, like, I'm still trying to save money that was spent because of the government neglect by the police and the cover-ups and all this stuff. And so
Now, I do know with water and electric, that is something that I could most likely get. Wait, what is the bill for those two? Just really quick. So
we
I can know
don't
how much we need.
we don't have it on hand, but we can look it up.
If you can give me that, I'll be honest with you, I really don't know about the mortgage part.
That's fine.
That is something I promise you I will look into.
Yeah.
But I do know with the water and electric, there has got to be something that we can help with. So just send me how much that costs, and I'll do my best to get somebody to pay that for you guys.
Thank you. Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna jump off here if that's okay with you, because I gotta go to work.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all I need. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing supervision with my supervisor sometime soon. And then we'll talk about case closure. Like I said, I'm hoping to have it closed within the next week. Like I said, I honestly just don't know because, like I said, I'm just new to this. I'm just doing the best that I can.
I understand.
We know that.
Yeah, I understand. All right, well, you have a good day, sir.
You too.
Bye.